In this video, I'm going to teach you about how to work with a web developer so that you understand what their expectations are and how to get the process moving really smoothly. I really hate to make it sound like web designers are a pain in the butt to work with. I just know far too many experiences where that has been the case. So I'm not trying to import any negativity into you, but I will tell you I have seen people many times pay a lot of money up front to get their website designed, and then they never end up getting that website finished. I have clients right now who have been working with their web designers for almost a year trying to get it to launch, even though their web designer was originally promising to have it live in a month. So this can be a challenging area if you're not prepared. And most of the times where there's been challenge and problems and things like that, it is because there was miscommunication on one side or another up in the beginning. So what our goal is really just to get super, super clear. I'm going to give you some tips here on how to build or how to create a good communication plan with your web developer. And it's not hard, it's very simple. We just need to make sure that we're on top of it. All right, number one thing, contracts. We talked about that in hiring. You need to have a contract. Must have a contract in place. I will not do business with someone without a contract anymore. Like, I've learned that lesson. We have contracts in place. Number two is you need to have clear deadlines and expectations. If you're thinking this website, because I had this happen on my first website, I said, well, how long is it going to take to get it up? And he said, well, if you're really quick with getting us your stuff, you can have it up, it can be up in like minimum 3 weeks. But sometimes it takes people longer, sometimes people take 5-6 months. And so I thought from that all meant me. And so as long as I got my stuff, we're going to be done quick. Well, that didn't happen. I got my stuff in, but it didn't happen quickly. And so be very clear on expectations and deadlines. Like if they were to say something like that to you, well, sometimes we get sites up in as quick as 3 weeks. Sometimes we get sites up in, as long as 5 months. I would ask them specifically, so let's go over what's all the information that you need from me. And from the point that I have that to you, how long will it be before I have the first draft of the site? And then how quickly can I expect you to have turnaround on each of my revisions? We need to be very, very clear on our deadlines and expectations. Third thing is that you need to have your content ready to go on time. So if you are, web designers hate, and this is the thing, it's not all on the web designers. We as entrepreneurs drive them crazy too. Web developers hate when you are like, I'm just not quite ready with that yet, because they need your stuff. You want them to build the website without your content because you're not sure what your content's going to be. They need your content before they can put it into the website. They can build you a template for the home page, but once they start looking at all the other pages and all the other content, they need your stuff and they need it on time. If you drag your feet on getting your content in, then what will happen is they'll bring on another client because they can see yours isn't finishing. They'll bring on someone else, they'll get busy working on their projects, and all of a sudden you lost your spot. Like you got bumped to the back of the line and you're going to have to work your way back up. So make sure that your content is ready to go and on time. Fourth thing is be clear on what you like and don't like with websites. We worked on this in our branding information. You chose graphics, logos, and websites that you like. Be clear about what you like, why you don't like it. Because if they design a page for you and you're like, I just don't like it, and they'll say, well, what don't you like? I don't know, it's just not what I'm looking for. It's just not me. You are a web designer's worst nightmare, and they do not want to work with you. So make sure that you are being super, super clear. Got it? Be very clear what you like and you don't like. Fifth thing is check in when updates are expected. So for example, if my web developer is supposed to get me something by Friday and it's Friday morning and I don't have it, I'll check in and I'll say, hey, I'm waiting for this update from you. Can you tell me what time of the day it's going to be here today? And I reiterate, today, because you said it was going to be here today, right? Sometimes I'll check into my website, especially if you notice that your web designer is running a little slow. I'll check in, like maybe there's something that's supposed to be to me on Friday. I'll check in on Wednesday, and if I don't see any updates, I'll email and say, hey, I'm sure you're probably working on this, but I just checked into the website and I didn't see any changes. Are we still on track to be done on Friday? Now, I know that most of the time they're not publishing those changes until all the changes are done. They usually don't republish every time there's a little tweak. But if they have a tendency to run late, I'm just going to check in and ask that question so that I know that they're going to be prepared to be ready on Friday. And if it's that day and I have not seen an update, then I'm going to get on the phone. And that's number 6. Resolve all conflicts and concerns quickly and by phone. Here's the thing about web developers. They are technical artists, so they're creative. They know the technical know-how of how to make it look good, but really they are artistic people. And we expect them to be technical and super on time and super on the ball and super organized, but the artist in them sometimes conflicts with that, and sometimes they are more creative than they are on task. So we need to just make sure that when we are getting frustrated or anything's going wrong, anything's feeling off track, we get on the phone and we resolve the concerns quickly. A lot of web developers, I've noticed, they like to communicate heavily through email, which is fine when everything's going well. But the minute that it's not, you got to get on the phone and you got to make it happen. All right, those are some tips for you for how to work successfully with your web developer. Next video is going to give you tips on how to create your content.